Remember what they said about the Warriors years ago?
It's over for them.
This is how it ends.
In this long overdue video, we're gonna look at all the slander Curry got. And just like him, we got all the receipts, baby.
I got some goons out there that send me every link.
A team that was constantly hated. A player that was constantly doubted. This is how Curry and the Warriors proved all of the naysayers so wrong.
We're not done yet.
Just like any other story, there are good guys, but also bad guys.
I knew he was going to miss the last shot.
Also loads of stupid takes.
Steph would have trouble guarding me.
He ain't that guy.
I don't have him in my top 20.
Steph underperformed in those finals. But there is something about the clutch gene for me.
Molly, the door is closed.
I invite you today to experience the highs, the lows, and then the highs, baby. It's gonna be a fun one today. Let's get to it.
If you look at Durant right now, purely as an offensive force, is he harder to stop than LeBron James?
Yes, he's a professional scorer, Green.
It's the 2018 playoffs, and the conversation around the Warriors dynasty is centered around one main figure, one main issue that's so tiring.
It doesn't make or break my career or whatever you want to say looking back. If we win this championship and I don't win in Finals MVP, I'm going to be smiling just as wide, and just as big.
Despite Curry saying what he said here, the pundits were going to talk about this anyway, because in reality, it mattered. It mattered to a lot of people.
Do you think that him never having won an NBA Finals MVP really does have an effect on his legacy?
I'm going to say no.
Okay.
No, I don't think it does.
Now, fortunately, there were a lot in the media that, like many of us, did not think it mattered at all.
A few years ago, he literally revolutionized the way the NBA game is played.
Steph Curry has revolutionized the game. He will be remembered, I believe, as the greatest shooter of all time. He is already that.
Now, I am not a Curry fan. I am an admirer of his game. He did change a lot, and he made things much easier for a lot of players. But he's not the GOAT by any means.
When you start adding up Finals MVPs, that's for Jordan versus LeBron and Magic and Kareem and the people who are in that discussion. It is my opinion that Steph isn't going to be in that discussion.
Who knows? He could be in the conversation someday. But right now it's the finals, and Steph Curry is in a kerfuffle with Kendrick Perkins.
Steph Curry and Kendrick Perkins talking to each other.
A lot of talk there at the bench.
After the game, I'm pretty sure Kendrick Perkins went to sleep thinking, did I just give the game away to the Warriors?
Steph Curry set an NBA Finals record by hitting 9 threes last night.
Curry is making a great case for that Finals MVP. It's going to be his first one ever if he wins it. But Rachel Nichols correctly points out it doesn't matter.
Yeah, he could definitely win it. But really, who cares? The man is a two-time actual MVP, poised to win his third ring.
In terms of optics, I did think Curry deserved it. But this happened.
5. Kevin Durant way outside. Delivers! Kevin Durant from downtown. It's a 6-point game. That's the same.
Game 3 in the finals in Cleveland, Kevin Durant hits a dagger three-pointer to break all the Cleveland fans' hearts.
Deja vu from where he hit the shot from. A little bit deeper this time, but he really took the game over both game threes.
Thanks for watching
2 for 1.
on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, subscribe
To 2 for 1. Also, follow me on my Twitter. Yeah, we're gonna have some fun over there. Now back to the video, as the championship has now been clinched. The Warriors are back-to-back champions, 3 times in 4 years. For Kevin Durant's case, he was honored for being the best player.
The back-to-back NBA Finals MVP.
To this day, people still argue that Curry deserved the Finals MVP. But Kevin Durant, he had the stats and the best moments.
Kevin Durant.
But hey, if you're Stephen Curry, you won your 3rd championship in 4 years, solidified a dynasty, and you were at the center of it, perhaps with KD being at the front lines in the last 2 years. But still,
Steph, Mark Schwartz, ESPN.
People will still use this against him to try to diminish his legacy.
You've now played 4 straight finals, brilliantly at times, and still without a finals MVP.
And of course, the media, they want to hear it from Steph Curry's mouth himself.
I don't know. I mean,
not only is this a dumb question, but there's only one way you can really answer this.
I can go in the locker room right now and look every one of my teammates in the face and have that sense of pride of what I was able to do out there on the floor and how I can help my team win a championship. That's all that matters to me.
And you'd think, okay, that's the end of it. Now Kevin Durant's on the podium. Not much is gonna happen, right? But look, the trophy's right there next to him. And Mark Schwartz is in the room.
Kevin, Mark Schwartz, ESPN.
Curry's a nice guy, but we all know how KD is with the media.
You know, Steph was unbelievable in this series as well as you were. 9 threes for a finals record. He closes out with 37, and he still never won a finals MVP.
Does it matter?
Does
it? We won 2 champs. We just won back-to-back. I don't think nobody even worried about that type of stuff.
That's really well said, KD. I have to give it to him. Now, the story gets a bit interesting seeing as one of the good guys, so to speak, one of the people that defended Curry till the end of time, Stephen A. Smith makes his first appearance.
I got a choice to pick between the greatest shooter we have ever seen to go along with those guys rather than Magic. I'm doing that.
And one of the arch enemies of Stephen Curry fans everywhere, Max Kellerman. Oh boy, you're gonna start getting sick of him every time he speaks.
Wow. Fate of the universe on the line, Game 7.
Whoa. And I gotta worry about getting the call.
Magic or Steph?
I gotta worry about getting the
ball. Magic or Steph? Fate of the universe on the line.
Steph Curry all day, every day.
I don't care how well Steph Curry shoots.
Looking back, man, how did we allow these guys to perpetrate this nonsense that Curry was bad in the playoffs? I mean, we have to do better, man.
But when a guy who has performed at or above the level of every great player in the NBA struggles at this point in time in the playoffs for 5 consecutive years to look like the same player.
He has consistently averaged over 25 points a game in the playoffs and has had so many great moments. But still, they say,
you have enough data to support the argument that the playoffs are different and his style does not benefit from the officiating that changes in the playoffs.
Despite the officiating changes in the playoffs, the Warriors still managed to win 3 championships in 4 years, and Steph Curry still manages to dominate in every series he plays.
Lillard gets it. Lillard from the corner for 3. Won't go, and that'll do it.
Right here in 2019, he clinches his 5th straight finals appearance, 2 of those being without Kevin Durant. So yeah, you can't use that same argument. Oh, but people still use it anyway.
You can make a credible argument that he's the best player in the world. I don't think you can do that with Steph.
Just listen to his flawed reasoning.
So offensively, there are other players just as good as him. Defensively, he's not in their class, and he's choked in the finals. So the answer is you cannot make the argument that he's the best player in the world.
That one bad series really is the fuel of all this hate.
Nobody ignores Kevin Durant. I haven't really talked to anybody, for the most part, that says Steph is better than Durant. But more important to that team, the engine that makes them go, is Steph. And he proved it by winning it before KD even got there.
Excellent breakdown right there from Broussard. But I hear the detractors. Who won the 2015 Finals MVP?
I've said, Skip, on this show, you know, I thought he should have definitely been the MVP in 2015.
I concur.
I think Finals MVPs are overrated. Kareem, of his 6 titles, he had 2 Finals MVPs.
Again, Finals MVPs should not be used as an end-all, be-all argument, but they still can be used in an argument.
For posterity's sake, for legacy, when you do look at the greats, you nitpick, and if he doesn't have any Finals MVPs in 4 championships, then I think that's something people can hold against.
Speaking of Finals MVPs, Andre Iguodala, oddly enough, is one of Curry's biggest supporters.
What motivates you to keep going to play hurt at this point in your career?
I like Steph. He's a good dude, and, good guy to be around. That's really the only reason why I like playing basketball.
You want him to win? Like that's what it is?
Yeah, they I've never seen him in person. So such a good person to ever get some backlash or whatever from his peers because they're so jealous of what he has. So it's kind of sticking to him. So I'm trying to, whatever it takes to protect his legacy. I'm all for it.
Now that last part caught a lot of people's attention, and the media, they had to talk about it.
I hope he's not playing for Steph's legacy. Steph's legacy is already taken care of. He don't need nobody to play for his legacy.
And Iguodala, man, I mean, if he had missed that shot in the game 2, what would they have said?
Call a little bull on that.
Okay, so two quick points. One, when he says, I'm playing for his legacy, whether we take that to be literal or not, what we can all agree on is how Iggy plays, how everyone plays, has to do with the narrative surrounding everyone else. And by that, I mean, Iggy took that shot, and he made it. If he missed it, and the Raptors rush up the court and hit a three. You know what that narrative is?
Steph Curry got that technical.
Steph got
that extra
the technical.
1 point.
Steph was 0 for 0 from the field in the fourth quarter with 0 points. He was in the first quarter, didn't make a basket. In the fourth quarter, didn't even attempt a shot. And is this another NBA Finals where Steph? So of course, how Iggy plays affects Steph's legacy.
And even when it does help Steph Curry's legacy, people are still gonna twist it.
With the game on the line, one shot, who would you rather have taking it, Iggy or Curry?
Of everyone on Golden State, open shot, fate of the universe on the line, or the Martians have the death beam pointed at Earth, you better hit it.
Man, this take was so bad looking back. And Max Kellerman, I'm pretty sure he knew he was going to become a meme when he said this.
I want Iguodala. Iguodala's got ice water in his veins.
So now he's going to prop up Iggy to put down Curry because it all fits into his agenda.
Iguodala is that type of player. High leverage moment, fate of the universe on the line. I want open shot, not go get it. I want Iguodala taking that shot for me.
Now, people have to remember, Kevin Durant did not play in the first 4 games of this NBA Finals. So people really began to see the impact that KD really had.
Has KD actually been underappreciated here?
I think overall, yes. I think he's so good, you take it for granted. You just said he was averaging 35 a game.
Yeah.
That's all time.
With no Kevin Durant in the game and Klay Thompson getting hurt in game 2, it meant that the Raptors could really defend Curry here. I mean, they really just went out of their way to do so.
In game 2, with Klay Thompson out, the Raptors did something I have not seen in an NBA game that I can remember. They went to essentially a box-and-one strategy.
After the game, Stephen Curry was interviewed and was asked about this box-and-one.
The whole fourth quarter, they were playing some janky defense, just trying to send bodies to me everywhere.
Obviously, this janky defense really just shows how deadly Steph Curry is and just how much of a threat he is to other teams.
That's kind of disrespectful to leave Andre Iguodala open like that. You know, with the game on the line, he's made big shots like that before.
So the Warriors, I mean, their hands were tied. They had to do something quick. And so they did the unfortunate.
You've been asking these guys all morning if there's somebody to blame. Yes, there is somebody to blame. The Golden State Warriors for putting KD out there. Listen, that was not right.
So the Warriors decided to play Kevin Durant in Game 5, even though a lot of people saw that Kevin Durant really wasn't 100% yet, not even near it. And yeah, he gets hurt.
To put a guy who hadn't played basketball in over a month into Game 5 of the Finals and had some type of move around the day before, I don't think that's fair to that man.
Really, yes, you could blame the Warriors for this easily. Kevin Durant arguably shouldn't have been there. A lot of people said so. This just makes the Warriors medical staff look horrible. Now, back to the Curry slander. Yeah, there was still more of that.
Steph Curry has been much maligned because he has 3 championships and no finals MVP.
Meet Rob Parker. You won't see him too much. Actually, I think this is the only time you'll see him.
But he is killing it, Rashad.
Yeah.
Win or lose, he's averaging 32.4 points.
Killing it.
5.8.
Team was down 3-1.
Listen to these stats before you say something.
Stats are empty sometimes.
32 points is never empty.
Yes, they are.
32 points is who you know average 32 points a game empty.
And their team was down 3-1 and he scored 32 points a game? How you down 3-1 if you're that man? Stop always saying Steph is the greatest, but his team's down.
I was hesitating putting this on the video because it's so damn awful. I couldn't bear it.
I'm just saying the game that they really needed him, he came up small.
Did they need him last night?
Everybody said.
Did he come up small last night?
Everybody said, oh, but you know what? He was tired. Stop it. If you're that guy, he ain't that guy.
You act Rashad. like they're playing against.
That's why they got KD back on a busted Achilles to try to play, because they knew they couldn't win without him.
And this is why you won't see much of radio hosts talking about this, because I just can't take them anymore, man. They're so dumb. Now, if you didn't know it already, yeah, Golden State's to blame here.
You know Kevin Durant as well as anybody in the media does. What is your big picture take?
Ultimately, I think this falls on the Golden State Warriors. He got misdiagnosed.
I'm not sure if there are even people that disagree with this take. I mean, Warriors fans even say this. The Warriors medical staff really butchered this. And I think this was really the straw that broke the camel's back in terms of KD's future in the Golden State. So now people were talking about the future of the Warriors franchise.
All these dynasties have an expiration date.
Oh man, I actually thought I had no more radio, guys. Oh, this is bad.
5 years, 5 finals, 3 titles. This is how it ends. He's not playing next year. KD's out for the year. So I think tonight's the end of a dynasty. It's been great. Suck it up when you can. The new arena will be fantastic, and you'll be a very good basketball team.
At the time, I would have agreed with this take too. Klay Thompson just tore his ACL in the last game where the Raptors won the championship. But still, the Warriors, you had Draymond Green believing.
Yeah, I think everybody thinks it's kind of end of us. That's just not smart. We're not done yet.
And I really like the confidence from Draymond here. It does say a lot about him.
You know, I hear a lot of that noise. It's the end of a run and all that jazz. I don't see it happening, though. We'll be back.
But in the meantime, the detractors won. They got their cake and ate it too.
If I learned anything in these finals, it's that Steph is coming along. He showed me stuff under pressure I haven't seen before. He dropped 47 when he didn't have Klay, and you needed offense from him.
We all know what's coming. We all know what he's about to say next. But
was I surprised he took the last shot and missed it? I knew he was going to miss the last shot.
And it's true. Curry did have an opportunity to take the lead right here, and he missed a shot.
The last shot's not for him. He has not shown in his career that that shot is for him in the finals. Maybe he will eventually because he can shoot it. But you know what? He shot 3 from 11 from 3 last night.
And then injuries were added to the insult. I mean, this was just a horrific way to end the finals for the Warriors. It really did look like things were so bleak that, you know, this is the beginning of the end for them.
Even Steph, he almost started another injury. He was so just upset.
But obviously, if we were in Curry's position, we'd be just as pissed as he was and just as upset. And really, can you blame him for doing this?
On his way to the shower, he punched the wall and then went in there because he was upset.
And obviously, Max Kellerman, we all know how much of a dickhead he is.
He better be careful because they already committed $200 million.
Watch that hand.
I mean, watch that hand. That's number one. Number two.
If I were in the locker room, I'd just say, Steph, it's the fourth quarter, 3, 2, and he missed the wall.
There you go.
Oh, you are so wrong for that.
Now, Max, it's not like he completely hates Curry's guts.
He's the engine of this dynasty. This has been an incredible run so far. It's not over, I don't think. You know, I think there are years where they will contend, and I think they got at least another championship in them. Steph, Klay, Dre.
But now free agency was going to hit soon. Yeah, these players needed to get paid.
Shaq, which team do you feel like is under the most pressure in this free agency?
Definitely has to be Golden State.
I agree. They had 2 major free agents to worry about.
You have to say, as the owner, do I want to go $200 million over salary cap? Answer is probably no. So somebody's going to have to go.
Now meet Kendrick Perkins. We already saw him in 2018, but now he's a pundit.
I feel like we give him a lot of passes. I feel like it's unfair because any other superstar in the league don't get as many passes as Steph Curry.
The Warriors on the losing end of the finals. Yeah, it was time to just take down Curry as hard as you could.
Listen, I'm not taking nothing from Steph, man. He's gonna go down as an all-time great. But his finals, the way he performed in the finals, I mean, he got to get some kind of, you know, criticism behind it.
It's as though Kendrick Perkins didn't watch the game. It's as though he didn't see the Raptors defending Curry all out in boxing 1. It's as though he didn't see the injuries.
Because, I mean, what's this, the 5th finals?
Yeah.
And, you know, he have yet to really show up.
Man, that's some BS that Max Kellerman would say.
He was so much better than Steph that even though his team lost, they had to give the MVP to the guy who defended LeBron.
Yeah,
it was a nod to LeBron being the best. That's one. Steph underperformed in those finals. Second finals, 73-win team. At home, 4th quarter, 0 points.
Guys like Max are just as deluded as Draymond is.
The Warriors with KD beat you guys.
No. Rodman, of course, he's going to side with the Bulls, but I agree with him here. I got to be honest.
Scottie Pippen can guard anybody. He's 6'9", can guard anybody, length to length. Kevin Durant, he'll have a hard time with Scottie Pippen. And I don't know who will guard Michael Jordan on the Warriors. Literally, who?
It's pretty obvious to me that someone would take offense to this.
I got no problem handling that guy, Green guy. He'll be eating out of my hands.
Draymond Green. Draymond thinks he's the best defender ever.
No, Draymond, keep getting your teeth straight, honey, and listen to your mama. okay, this is Dr. D. Ross calling right now, baby. You want some prescription? Come ask me.
Honestly, don't ask me what that meant. I just don't know. Now, Iguodala, he went face-to-face with Max.
I've never seen a guy that's so humble and has such a good heart receive so much hate.
Who's that?
Steph Curry. And it's an amazing thing, but what he's done for the game of basketball,
hate?
It's incredible, and he's going to continue to do it.
Whoa.
Not from you guys, but just in general, you always see.
With Steph Curry?
Yeah, why do they hate on him?
I think.
Who are these people? Who are these people?
I think we feel it from guys in the league, and we feel it in the media.
Man, Iggy, you're way too nice, man. You should have just said it, man.
So you're not the shooter Steph is, but I'm saying when it matters most, you're the dude I think doesn't care about that moment. Same guy, like ice water in his veins. Your response?
He crazy.
That's what I'm saying. Now, Curry was slandered yet again, this time by ESPN itself, posting this video on YouTube of Curry missing all 8 go-ahead shots to try to win the game. Yeah, there's a little bit of context needed here. This game against Portland where he missed that shot, yeah, he ended up scoring 17 points in that overtime. Most points in the overtime in the history by any player. But no, show what happened before that.
Warriors can add to their lead now. Curry left wide open.
Yeah, you can see it right here. 17 points in overtime. Insane. Now, in 2019 conference finals, they even put this shot here that he missed. But Curry still won the game in overtime. Like, what are you doing? This hate is out of this world.
You know where I see it the most? The hate on Steph. It's across the league, the other players. Some of the older players hate that he came in and took their shine. They hate it.
Matt Barnes, that was a former teammate of Curry's, also added this.
He's the golden boy. He came in and destroyed record books, won championships, beat LeBron. He's done a lot of things that probably angered other players and other fans. That's why I don't think he gets the respect he deserves as going to be obviously the greatest shooter, but one of the greatest players ever to play the game. And I can see people being bitter from that, not to mention the little light skin thing and people having problems with that.
And it seemed like maybe Kevin Durant had a problem with the light skin. Nah, I'm joking. But Kevin Durant did indeed leave Golden State to go to Brooklyn.
I'm told that KD, just in his time there was always this feeling that we saved you.
Kevin Durant really didn't have a problem with Curry. He had a problem with the Warriors organization, the media.
You hadn't won 10 years. You had been one of the best players in the world.
It kind of looked like he saved them, but go ahead.
Well, and that also could be said. Kevin Durant did help them win 2 championships. He was the best player in those teams.
I do think that KD felt, this disrespect.
Now, the offseason is in full swing. Klay Thompson's rehab is just beginning. But he had some aspirations. He had some things to say about the Warriors dynasty.
There's no more dynasty with the Golden State Warriors. How do you respond to that?
I think that's a little premature to say there's no more dynasty.
Okay, I lied. It was more like they said something about the Warriors dynasty and he had to respond to it. But okay, Klay Thompson did say this.
To say the dynasty is over, I think is a little ignorant because I think I'm going to come back 110%. I think I'm going to come back even better and more athletic, and I would just not. It would not be smart to count the dubs out. That's all I'll tell people.
It would also not be smart to go after KD because he's going to clap back. And, he recently said this.
Some days I hate the NBA. Some days I hate the circus of the NBA. Some days I hate that the players let the NBA business, the fame that comes with the business, alter their minds about the game. Sometimes I don't like being around the executives and politics that come with it. I hate that.
Now, Kevin Durant, although I agree he was the best player during these finals, he does rub me the wrong way.
That's any industry. That's any professional environment.
Obviously, it sounds nice to hear that from KD, but at the same time, it's childish because the NBA, you ultimately benefit from this dynamic.
There's a part of me that's like, KD, you can play pickup. You know what I mean? Like if you love the game so much, you can play the game and you can leave all the politics and all the executives and everything behind.
But why do that when you're making millions upon millions of dollars? It seemed like Kevin Durant was open to sharing more details about the Warriors and how he felt about certain dynamics with the organization.
What did you think of the magazine article and the interview he just gave, where he gave some quotes about the Warriors? He said, over time, it felt like, quote, nobody could get a full acceptance of me there. What did you feel when you read that?
I mean, that's tough. There's so many narratives that go on, especially when you're at the top of the league. But at the end of the day, I think he knows, what we were about as teammates, what we were about as friends on and off the court.
It was obvious that Kevin Durant just had his issues with the Warriors.
Talked about it working for the first couple rounds of the playoffs, but not as much after that.
Well, I don't even care what plays we ran. We won 2 championships.
I love that response from Curry. It was really great. Now, Kevin Durant, it is obvious that he just didn't have a good relationship with Steve Kerr.
From what I was told, KD was not feeling Steve Kerr at all. At all. To the point where that's why you saw Bob Myers around him. That's why you see his guy, Rich Kleiman, around him.
When you just look at the situation from an outsider perspective, you can't help but think, hey, D, man, what exactly are you after?
I just want him to find happiness because when I look at Michael Jordan, I look at Kobe Bryant, this brother, Kevin Durant, is one of the greatest scorers we've ever seen in NBA history.
Absolutely.
NBA history. So I just want him to be happy, but I don't know where he's going to find it at if he can't find it at Golden State.
But when you point that out, you get the clapback from the inevitable king of clapbacks, Kevin Durant himself.
Now, Durant has since deleted the tweet.
Okay, so I'll stop with the KD smearing. Okay, this is not the video for it. At this point, he has a horrible injury that he has to rehab from.
Where are you at in your rehab process, and what are you able to do?
I'm a few months in. I mean, I'm just, just strengthening my body, really. Not doing too much on the basketball court yet.
Finally, we get back to Steph Curry. Now, he talks about the Warriors and how they'll look.
We want to be a team that's feared across the league when you see us on the schedule, regular season, we get to the playoffs, that they know what they're in for.
No KD, no problem. The Warriors are still as confident as ever. And how could you not be when you have guys like, what is it, Dre? Curry, Clay, right? That's what he said?
So you still believe this team can go to the finals this year?
Steph Curry on our team? Clay? Yep.
Now I want to touch on another player that had been getting slandered up to this point.
Wiggins was asked at Media Day how he's handled shouldering the blame for the Wolves' struggles. He said, quote, I felt like I was on the rise my first 3 years, and then some changes were made.
Obviously, he hasn't panned out to what he was expected to be.
Rich, you understand what that quote is? Well, Tibbs and Jimmy are no longer here to yell and scream at me, so I'm going to be better now. If I'm a Timberwolves fan and I heard that quote, I would go, oh, no. How many more years is this guy signed for? How much more money do we owe him?
But man, do I hate Nick Friedel for this, bro. I really do.
I am not buying the Timberwolves at all, and I am all the way out on Andrew Wiggins. I think his time in the league as one of those guys, he just has all this potential to unlock. I don't buy it. I think that he is what he is at this point. I don't think he can hit another level.
Wow, Nick, that was pretty cold, man.
Tell us how you
I
really feel.
watched it. I watched it.
Now I've got a question for you guys. Is Stephen Curry a Hall of Famer? Meaning, if he retired after 2019, would he have been inducted into the Hall of Fame at any point of his life? I'd say yes. I mean, just look at his resume. But apparently Michael Jordan didn't seem to think so, or at least that's what people are saying at the time.
So much to unpack.
What are you
here.
holding? What prop?
Because I feel like I want to help Michael Jordan actually see talent. What are those? You got binoculars.
Now, if you thought Michael Jordan actually thought Steph Curry wasn't a Hall of Fame player, man, I don't know what to tell you at this point.
Michael Jordan said that Steph Curry is not a Hall of Famer yet.
The key word here being yet. Okay, yet. Not yet, which is true. And he was also joking.
So Steph Curry shouldn't be offended when he watches this.
I hope not. He's still a great player. Not a Hall of Famer yet, though. He's not.
Jordan did not mean that, man. He was clearly laughing that off, man. Come on, Jay.
It's 2019, MJ. Like, Stephen Curry has changed the geometry of the game. Give him the respect he deserves. That's all I'm going to say.
How did NBC News do a better job here?
Clearly in the room, everyone knew that he was joking.
Yeah.
Everyone knew he was joking.
And Magic Johnson points to something very important, a key detail that's missing.
When Doc Rivers dared to comment on Kawhi Leonard, what happened?
Got fined.
Tampering fine.
Yeah.
So if Michael Jordan right there says, put Steph in the Hall of Fame right now, there are people saying, fine him.
It's a very stupid rule. I think we can all agree on that one. Now, Steph Curry, obviously, he can't win with this, and he responded.
I'm sure if you ask him that question now, like straight up, if you think I'm getting in there, he probably would have a different answer. If you put the ... yet, then I'm cool with that.
And that's what Jordan did. Now let's get back to the NBA. The regular season is about to begin. Charles Barkley. Now that's somebody you can point your fingers at.
Hey, Ernie, I'm doubling down. The Warriors gonna barely make the playoffs.
Barely. You said would not. You said no. You said they would not.
No.
You said would
the
not.
The Warriors are gonna be 6, 7, or 8.
Oh, that's not barely. That's not barely.
And he actually changed his mind after watching the first half.
I was wrong before the game. I said they were gonna be the 7, 8 seed. They're not gonna make the playoffs. Because they just can't score enough.
And it didn't look good for the Warriors. So I could see where Chuck was coming from. Kawhi Leonard, the new look Clippers. I mean, they were just decimating the Warriors. Coming off a win against the Los Angeles Lakers. Draymond getting hurt off a screen. Yeah, it didn't look so good for the Warriors. Yes, Ballmer going crazy. The Clippers were clearly the better team, and it was very obvious from the beginning.
And that's the most the Warriors have allowed in a home game in 10 years.
Talk about a terrible way to have your first game in a new building. I mean, Draymond Green was clearly upset. And Steve Kerr, man, he said it, man. This is the new reality.
And this is not, not a one-off. This is the reality. There's going to be nights like this year. So you got to play through it, and you got to keep fighting and keep getting better.
I'm not a coach, so I'm not about to go watch a film and say, oh, well, we can build on this. I really don't give a damn about what we can build on. We suck tonight, and we got to get better overall. I'm not a moral victory type of guy. I'm not leaving this game looking for something to build off on. We sucked.
It was just one game, but it was clear to everyone watching that this was not going to be a championship contending team.
Warriors will surely get better than they looked last night, and Clay could be right. They certainly could win another title sometime in the next 5 to 6 years. But honestly, if they do, we will treat it as a whole separate thing. Last night underscored that the Warriors era that we just completed, that is finished.
Interesting take right there. Now, Scottie Pippen, he also said some things that were interesting.
When those things do end, it's really the fans that have to make the biggest adjustments because they have to get used to watching bad play. They have to get used to watching different players.
I guess this is just like him having to adjust to Larsa leaving him twice. I'm so glad I don't have to see this man talking on TV anymore. Now, the Warriors, it was obvious that they needed a lot of work. And playing against a new look Thunder with no Paul George and no Westbrook, yeah, it was a worse game. How did the Warriors lose by this much?
You are down by 40. There is no excuse for that. There is no excuse for that whatsoever.
What you gotta say now, Draymond? Any excuses?
What's this been like for you? I mean, it's 2 games, but I know this is a new reality.
Sucks. But I guess just about everybody except Tim Duncan have been through it. But it sucks. Pretty bad.
Comparing your situation to Tim Duncan has to be one of the craziest things I've seen.
The reality is we suck right now.
Some of you may be confused because Stephen A, as I said before, is one of the good guys in the story. But
the Warriors look absolutely, positively atrocious. It's an embarrassment. You're not supposed to be this bad.
And he's right. When you have a Stephen Curry and a Draymond Green in the same game, they shouldn't be this bad.
I'm putting them on notice. Your name is the Warriors, for crying out loud. It ain't the Golden State Punch.
Steph Curry's offense struggled, and Draymond Green, he's not enough for this team to be a good defensive team. This team is horrific. But they did get their first win with Draymond Green having a triple-double. Curry and D'Lo combined for 50 points in this game. My goodness. Now, Draymond Green, what do you have to say now?
When I said we suck last night, I see a lot of people blew it out of proportion. A lot of former players who ain't never led shit blew it out of proportion. We suck. And we're still not very good.
Now, who was Draymond talking about? Anyway, Steph Curry also had some things to say after their first win in the season.
Everybody loves to label you when you're down and when you're losing. That's easy. It's easy to get on TV and say whatever you want. It's easy to just throw darts at a team that's trying to figure it out based on how much success we've had.
But the Warriors' fortune, this is where it would run out.
It was ugly last night. The Suns-Warriors game had Golden State already down by 29 points.
Everyone knows what happened in this picture, and it's very gruesome.
Curry, as we now know, has a broken left hand.
So now you have no Klay Thompson. Obviously, Kevin Durant left the team. Is it time to tank?
Now, as far as the tanking question goes, The Warriors are never going to fully embrace the tank. How do I know this? Because the Warriors owner is Joe Lacob.
Despite their lineup looking completely different, Lacob is a very prideful man, and he still wants to see this team win as many games. Now, Richard Jefferson had some issues with what Draymond said.
I played with Draymond. I know the type of leader he is, and I was disappointed from playing against him and playing with him that he would be so somber on the wall after 2 games. And he was somber. He was just like, well, I guess only Tim Duncan's been through this. And it's like, dude, it's 2 games. You guys are fine. Keep that same energy that you had. Lo and behold, it took 1 win, and his energy was back.
So I guess Draymond was referring to him when he said those comments. Now, the news about Curry would get worse.
I literally just found out 5 minutes ago.
Now, Steph Curry, he would need surgery to repair his broken left hand, and the timetable, yeah, he was going to be out for a couple months. It was tough. The Warriors now, obviously, no Klay Thompson. They also had no Steph Curry, who is now rehabbing from an injury himself. Oh boy, let's hope things get better in 2020. Now, Stephen Curry, he was enjoying his life, and he was doing some sideline reporting for Warriors games now. I think this was only a one-time thing, but it was a fun time.
My plus minus as a sideline reporter is phenomenal. Man, I might need to quit. Bro, you came on and they got all the momentum. They're killing right now.
And Curry's biggest supporter, Iguodala, does not seem to think that Curry should come back anytime soon.
Do you think he should come back
This
season?
Selfish reasons? No.
And he even had Stephen A. Smith agreeing with him.
I'm of the mindset, first of all, I've been on the record saying that Steph Curry should not come back this year. I don't think he should come back for the Olympics either. He shouldn't come back until next season.
Now, Iguodala has not played an NBA game this season for the Grizzlies. So are his playing days over?
This break has been a blessing in disguise. I think it's added another year or 2 to my career. Actually, I think it really has.
Season's rookie phenom Ja Morant had a little tussle with the Warriors' Steph Curry. Yeah, it was an interesting little back and forth on social media.
David Aldridge kind of started something last night completely incidentally.
The reports are that Andre Iguodala was actually trying to get Memphis to trade him to another team since he didn't want to play for them.
Well, I guess the Memphis guys heard about it because Dylan Brooks after the game, quote, "I can't wait till we find a way to trade him so we can play him and show him really what Memphis is about."
Now Ja Morant, he quote tweeted, and now it was starting to escalate into something that really shouldn't have been this big.
Ja Morant said, "Say it louder for the people in the back."
And now Steph Curry chimes in. I mean, I didn't expect this one, saying Andre Iguodala is a champion.
Steph Curry decided to come to his former teammates' aid, putting this out with the shh emoji.
And somehow ESPN's Rachel Nichols was dragged into this whole thing.
So I tweeted that image, took it from Instagram to the Twitter.
I mean, she didn't really get dragged. It was just Ja Morant replying to that tweet with a little dig at Steph Curry.
And then Ja with the clapback kind of against Steph, showing that KD won those trophies.
Ooh, I like it, boy. You know I like beef.
And he's young, too.
At this point, it was obvious rookie phenom Ja Morant was ready to make some noise on and off the court. And the Warriors, well, they're trying to make some noise too in a trade deadline with a trade coming in with Minnesota.
So that 2021 draft, that Minnesota pick now going to Golden State is protected to number 3.
And they will get Andrew Wiggins in that trade and give away D'Lo to the Timberwolves at this point.
And I think for the Warriors, Rachel, they know they're going to have a high pick in this coming draft. And they're going to have a chance to get one of the very best players. But this is not a deep draft.
Especially with the Warriors struggling, we all knew a D'Lo trade was coming at any point. And Andrew Wiggins, not the player that many people expected to see in the Golden State Warriors uniform. Some people weren't so happy about it.
Is there another Andrew Wiggins in the league? There are 2 guys. Is it guys like with the same names? Or is this the guy that was the #1 pick for the Cavs, traded for Kevin Love, and has arguably the worst contract in the sport?
Same guy.
That's the guy? Man, we are light years away from the Warriors being light years ahead of the whole rest of the league. The hell you doing, Bob Myers?
Now, why did Nick Wright feel this way about this trade?
Wiggins is horrifying. All the smart numbers show you he's never been contributing factor to winning at any point in his career.
And he even had Chris Mannix agreeing with him.
What is the logic of this if you're Golden State?
No, I don't like this trade at all for Golden State for a lot of the same reasons you just articulated there.
Nick, he wanted to go scorch earth on Andrew Wiggins. He thought he was just a bad player.
Wiggins is a bad basketball player. He's owed $95 million over the next 3 years, starting next year. It's unspeakable they did this. It's over for them now. We will never see Steph in another NBA Finals, ever. They have no path forward.
No path forward, you say? Okay, Andrew Wiggins, it was his debut game, and he played against the Lakers.
Pascal kicks it out. Wiggins for three.
The Warriors obviously didn't win this game. The Lakers are the #1 seed in the West. I mean, come on. It was a mismatch to begin with. But it wasn't all bad news, as Andre Iguodala was honored afterwards in the game against Miami.
You see your jersey in the Raptors one of these days, bro.
He was in Miami Heat now, contending for a championship. And really, this is just a great news for Iguodala, seeing him just this happy, finally in a great situation. And obviously the Warriors, they're still struggling. Draymond Green getting ejected in the game against the Lakers. Chuck has some things to say.
He's probably still injured. Didn't want to play.
He had his normal triple single.
Golden State. Why you on him so hard?
He talk all that stuff when he got them other boys with him.
Just a little banter. I'm sure it's not going to escalate to anything else. Now, Stephen Curry, his first time back since the injury. Let's go.
It's good for this fan base to see him on the floor.
Yeah, you saw that, right? He missed 58 games this season, and Steph Curry now finally being able to play. It was going to be a fun match against my Raptors, the defending champions, baby. No, Steph Curry. I mean, he has some highlights, man. I mean, how did he make this?
On the smaller Lowry. Shot pocket. Oh, he got the three! How about that?
I don't know if you understand how big of a deal this was. Even though the Warriors weren't going to win this game, come on, my Raps are better. The Warriors desperately needed Curry's energy and leadership.
Picked up by Wiggins. Curry, three, good! He cans it, and he's fouled!
Like I said, the Raptors won this game easily, boxing one and all. Come on, man. Was there any doubt? Now, Draymond Green, he had some things to say.
You pay any attention to that chatter? Obviously, guys like Barkley, but beyond that.
No, Barkley should stop before I go take his job, though. So I can do that well, too.
Now, there were a lot of people that didn't want to see Curry play this season since it was a lost cause. But the world needed this.
There are two separate conversations to be had. The first is the short one. For all the people who are asking, well, why would you even bother bringing him back?
We can't answer dumb people, though.
I'm telling you, man, NBA ratings would have been so much lower if Curry didn't play.
Here's the answer. Because he's a basketball player, for crying out loud. The games are on the schedule. Look how much fun he was having. Look how much fun he made it for everybody else. These games matter regardless of what the standings are.
And when they needed him most, the world shut down due to a pandemic. Now, okay, Kevin Durant. He had some problems with how some in the media were talking about Steph Curry.
I tried to make a few points saying I didn't begrudge him for having leverage with his contract and insisted that I had good reason to write what I wrote. KD wasn't impressed and accused me of trying to rile up Steph's fans. He expressed that this was a constant theme in the Bay.
Ethan Strauss, a reporter that I guess covered Warriors basketball, I don't know, but he talked about Kevin Durant in his new book. And boy, oh boy.
All of us local guys just wanted to kiss Steph's expletive at his expense. This was KD's constant lament. He would frequently squabble in direct message conversations with the Warriors fans on Twitter, frequently accusing them of favoring Steph at his expense.
This somehow made Kevin Durant look even more sensitive than he already was.
Of course he's going to get all the praise. Steph Curry was back-to-back MVPs before KD got there. KD knew what he was getting himself into when he joined the 73-9 team.
Kendrick Perkins here making a good point.
KD, my brother, please, I'm begging you, stop responding to the media.
Now Stephen A., even though he loves Curry, he had to make things clear.
People, because you love Steph Curry, you tried to act like Steph Curry was better than Kevin Durant. And that was never the case.
Interesting. Okay, let's revisit that at some point. Now, Draymond Green was in a podcast where Maverick Carter said this.
The world knows Steph can't fucking play defense. Steph can't guard. I'm 38, haven't played a decent game of basketball in probably 18 years, so I was 20. Steph would have trouble guarding me.
And wouldn't you know it, he's one of LeBron's friends.
He's actually really good off the ball on defense. He's a good steal artist. He needs Clay and Draymond to kind of cover everything else so he could do his thing.
In that same podcast, Draymond talked about the impending free agency for Kevin Durant and how it impacted him and the Warriors.
Draymond called Durant's free agency the elephant in the room.
Even though there were no NBA games, things were getting spicier by the day. Now, Steph Curry had to respond to these claims.
And, like, you're locked in, you're doing your thing, and then you wake up, and now you're the topic of conversation on every show in the morning.
And, of course, Curry saw what Maverick Carter had to say.
Bro, I'm so glad you asked that because there's a relevant headline this morning.
Yeah.
From somebody talking about my defense.
Curry hears all, he sees all.
I hear it all. I don't go looking for it, but I got so many people. I got some goons out there that send me every link possible if somebody says something.
And Curry unsurprisingly dropping gems.
When you're doing something great, no matter what it is, they coming for you. And
a successful man, of course he knows these things.
I'm like so secure in like who I am and who I know I am on the court. That's why I never respond to anybody, because either I'm agreeing with you or I'm laughing.
I'm pretty sure Steph Curry laughed when he seen this interview with Kendrick Perkins.
I thought LeBron James should have won it. That's just my opinion, because his numbers were crazy.
Yeah, he's talking about the 2015 Finals MVP. And yeah, apparently to him, Iguodala deserved it.
Andre Iguodala deserved the Finals MVP, in my opinion, because we disrespected him.
He's getting at here is that the game plan for the Cavaliers defense was to stop Curry and Clay from going off and getting hot and letting Iguodala get open from the three-point line and shoot those. Now, with the Kendrick Perkins Curry kerfuffle, he had other things to say as well. It was interesting.
He said that I tried to trip him. I'm like, bro, I didn't move my leg. I didn't stick my leg. I was sitting the same way the whole time. Look, I'm sitting the same way. Look, what did I do?
Since there were no games, first they got to come up with a stupid topic. What do you mean the Warriors need to validate their dynasty?
I don't believe, as long as Klay Thompson and Steph Curry are healthy, that there will ever be 4 teams in basketball in the same season better than them. And so for me, you got those two with Draymond Green. All you need is another piece, a scoring forward. That's all you need. You need one piece. And as far as I'm concerned, we'll be talking about the Golden State Warriors winning championships again.
And Max, to be fair here, he was consistent.
If you ask me if the Warriors done winning championships, I'm going to say no. I think they have another championship in them at least. I think they'll be a powerhouse next year.
So there was a top 76 list that was released recently, and it would put Curry at number 13 and Kevin Durant at number 14, just behind Curry.
So, Shannon, should Steph really have been ranked higher than KD?
Yes. Difference is, Skip, Steph Curry redefined the game.
We all know what the king of all haters, Skip Bayless, is going to say.
When it comes to what I value the most, postseason performance, I'll take Kevin Durant any day or playoff night over Steph Curry, because too often Steph Curry in the postseason has come up even smaller than he is.
Let's play a game of who's that NBA player? Okay, that's corny.
We're down to the top 5 of our countdown, so you can see it right there on your screen.
They're ranking players that were currently playing in ESPN top 10s. Yeah, they're bored. They're clearly bored. Now, obviously, we all know this is Steph Curry, right? Right?
The 5th player in our First Take Primetime Players NBA ranking is Stephen Curry.
You know why they do these top 10 lists? So that they can debate it.
Well, let's talk about what Steph's in the conversation for all-time best. He has one of the best handles you've ever seen, and he's the greatest shooter of all time, and that is a deadly combination.
Whoa, is Max going to say Curry's better than Harden?
Steph is just better. So if Steph had the usage rate for a coach like D'Antoni, we wouldn't even be arguing this.
Perkins, Swagoo, they were on Harden's side.
I'll take James Harden to start a team over Steph Curry. Steph Curry has limitations. James Harden is a better scorer than Steph Curry is. Now, you want to talk about shooting, that's obvious.
Harden having a higher usage rate doesn't make him a better scorer.
I need this guy over a long period of time to perform at a high level who's going to get me to the point where I can win the game. It's going to be James Harden.
Ed Curry's always beat him in the playoffs. Okay, let's divert from that topic because obviously we all know. Draymond and Charles, they have a love affair now. Draymond doing the TV stuff, and he looks like a natural doing it.
It's great to see Book playing well and Phoenix playing well, but get my man out of Phoenix. It's not good for him. It's not good for his career. Sorry, Chuck.
No, that's a wild take, Draymond.
When you have a player out there who can't shoot or who's not a great shooter, teams know you can cheat off of that guy.
Chuck, he's just doing his normal TV stuff too. But Draymond, he thought that Chuck was taking a shot at him.
Taking shots at me? Oh, no. Come on, man. What are you talking about?
Since the Warriors weren't in the bubble, the one thing that was exciting for them to watch was the lottery. At this point, the Warriors have a chance to get a top 4 pick, which is great. Let's see. Oh, they're going to get a top 3 pick for sure now. A top 2 pick. Okay, this is going to get spicy. D'Lo and Curry. This is ironic to see.
The second pick goes to the Golden State Warriors.
Warriors go from winning the West a year ago to getting a second pick in the draft. Wow, how things changed. Now, the Brooklyn Nets with Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is finally going to play his first game late in the year. And KD, he needed to prove himself.
That's something KD's got to understand. When he joined a 73-win team with another MVP on it and Steph and a great team, well, obviously, if you win 73 games and won a championship, it's discounted. People are like, you didn't really prove anything because you could not win the title.
The draft was coming up, and it seemed like the Warriors should have picked LaMelo considering the news they got.
And according to Woj, Klay Thompson suffered a right leg injury working out in Southern California today.
Are you serious right now, man? Are you... Man, oh my gosh, bro. Another injury. He was rehabbing. He was just getting started. He was about to come back.
This is nightmarish. Yeah. This is nightmarish. All championship hopes are out the window. You need both. You can't have Klay without Steph. You can't have Steph without Klay and talk championship. You can talk playoffs. You can talk excitement. You can talk box office appeal. But you can't talk championship having one without the other.
You needed them both, man. Stephen A is completely correct.
You need both of them. This is the greatest shooting backcourt we have ever seen in the history of basketball.
And just as the Warriors were getting ready for the season that was coming up, finally crowds will be back. And the draft, I mean, they got Wiseman, a nice center. And people were thinking, did this affect their draft?
It's such a long-term view when you're picking, especially that high in the draft. It was not impacted by what had happened with Klay and the uncertainty surrounding his potential injury.
Now, we're not sure how bad the injury is up to this point. Hopefully, it's nothing too serious. Hopefully, it'll just take a couple weeks for him to get back.
Sounds like he potentially tore his Achilles tendon.
Bro, this can't be real. What the hell, man? Is the dynasty over for the Warriors?
It's not over.
Now, Max, he's consistent when it comes to this topic.
If Steph Curry ever wins another championship in Golden State, it will not resemble the same team, and it's going to be years from now. It ain't going to be this year or next year.
I don't know, Stephen A, man. Things look very bleak for the Warriors right now.
Obviously, they're going to struggle this year.
Oh, ESPN has radio as well. I forgot about that when I was editing this video.
Is the Klay Thompson injury the end of the Warriors dynasty? The answer is yes, it is. It's the end of the dynasty.
Klay Thompson, obviously a Hall of Fame player. Missing him, I mean, you're not going to win a championship anytime soon.
But the Warriors ain't doing anything this year. They have no shooting, the Warriors. None. Steph Curry's the greatest shooter of all time. Tell me one more average shooter on the team. Oh, they traded for Kelly Oubre. Kelly Oubre's not good.
I don't know, man. He looked good in Phoenix. All I'm going to say is give him a chance. But at the same time, it looked like the Warriors' days of winning championships was gone.
Do you think Steph can still lift this team and get them to the finals this season?
Yes, I do.
I wish somebody had as much belief in me as Stephen A had in Curry, man.
I'm not picking the Warriors to come out of the West because I've said it and I've been on the record and I've stated this many times. Steph Curry ain't winning the championship without Klay Thompson, and Klay Thompson ain't winning the championship without Steph Curry. They are the greatest shooting backcourt known to man. I am not engaging in hyperbole.
But I gotta agree with Max here, man. They don't look so good.
Tell me one other player on the Warriors who's going to get real minutes, who shoots average for his position from deep.
Now on to some, more somber news. Klay Thompson's injury, of course. How does this affect Steph Curry?
Unfortunate situation with Klay. We still feel, like we're a threat to be dealt with.
Sounds like you had an emotional call with him.
With him, with Bob, Coach Kerr. To get that call was a gut punch for sure. A lot of tears, a lot of, you don't really know what to say.
Hey, man, it's time for the Warriors to retool again with the young guys they've got, the veterans they still have in their lineup. Steph Curry, of course, is now healthy. And for some reason, First Take is having the same debate they had weeks ago.
A dynasty doesn't mean that the same players can once again win a championship eventually.
We've heard these arguments before, but this time things got a little bit heated.
If the Warriors come back and they're making the playoffs this season and then Clay returns next year and they win the chip, that means they would have won it with Steph. That means they would have won it with Clay. That means they would have won it with Draymond, which is tagged along the same dynastic on the
So
same
you're picking them to win it
dynastic
next
level.
year. So you're picking them to win it next year.
Well,
You're
when they get
picking
back,
them
we'll see
to
how
win
healthy
it
Clay
next
is.
year.
No, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. That's a ridiculous question.
Why is Max trying to strong arm the argument? I mean, Stephen A is clearly saying if Clay comes back healthy with Curry, they have a chance to win it all.
I have to agree with Stephen A. I strongly believe that the Warriors dynasty is not over.
Now, ESPN, another ranking. This time, Steph Curry is number 8 in this ranking. Damian Lillard is number 7. He's over Curry in this ranking. I think it's because of the bubble and how great Damian Lillard was, but just look at the resume. People really forgot Steph Curry was that guy. It's just, that's insane, bro.
Is Dame the top point guard in the league?
Yep. Yes, he is.
No hesitation. That is insane. To say that, I know he was great in the bubble. I loved him, but this is insane.
I got a lot of love for Damian Lillard, but he ain't no Steph Curry.
Last year, Steph Curry was a force to be reckoned with. Now, people aren't looking at Curry as much as they used to in terms of the best.
Originally, I said Luka Doncic, but if LeBron's the best player and he played point guard, how is he not the best point guard in the league?
I know he just won a championship, but it's not fair to put him in this list.
Steph Curry has to reclaim his title as the best point guard. Like, when LeBron James got hurt and Kawhi...
You just weren't Warriors fans.
No, they hate me anyway, so who gives a damn?
Although I do understand this argument from Rich here. He does have to make some people remember again.
But you have to reclaim your title every single year. And Dame Lillard did some things last year from that point guard spot.
This is just like boxing. When you don't fight for a year, you get stripped of your title, and you got to go back and fight for it again.
So I assume it's the same thing with Kevin Durant. So let's see. He returns, he plays against the Warriors, and he actually dominates and wins the game.
The lead over the Warriors was so big that they didn't need him in the fourth.
But it's clear to me that people won't apply the same metric to Kevin Wayne Durant.
This is the best scorer to ever touch the basketball, and I know this. You could drop Kevin Durant anywhere in America, and he's going to get buckets.
But he hadn't played in over a year.
This next team is really, really deep, and they're coming out of the Eastern Conference, and the rest of the league should be very, very scared.
Stephen Curry was making headlines again, pulling off something that is virtually impossible.
After Warriors practice Saturday, Curry decided to get some extra three-pointers up. And he just kept making them, and making them, and making them.
He legit went through a whole SportsCenter segment talking about the games that happened, with Steph Curry making 105 consecutive three-pointers.
105. Unbelievable. Oh, work on your game.
ESPN, of course, has some insane statistics to back this up.
The probability of an NBA player making 105 consecutive wide-open corner threes would be 6.58 times 10 to the negative 41st.
That is such a small number. They had to stretch it all through the screen. Now, the talk of the town was, who's better, Curry or Lillard? Channing Frye chimes in.
What does Damian Lillard need to do to be at Steph Curry's level?
I mean, I don't think basketball-wise, I think they're 1A, 1B best guards in the NBA.
With Channing struggling to come up with an answer, and Lillard and Curry having banter, it was obvious that people had their eyes on this matchup.
Right now, with the injuries that the Warriors been dealing with, and Steph playing with a younger team right now, he's saying that it's tough to get those quality looks right now. It's different than what it's looked like, over the last 4 or 5 years for him. So,
and I agree. I think Curry, obviously, he's had the luxury of playing with great guys around him. Now with lesser talent, Lillard is now able to torch the Warriors.
Denied Nurkic. Better closeout on McCollum. Better pass to Lillard. Open three. Cash.
And I think a lot of people missed the point that Lillard was trying to make in this interview.
He's trying to get quality looks and get a clean look so he can make a good one. You don't really have that luxury to just take one from that deep, just to be taking it.
It's interesting because of course I agree that Curry was getting slandered around this time a lot. Isaiah Thomas even chimed in, and he made a great point. Only few players in NBA history have really changed the game of basketball the way Steph Curry has. And it's really just insane the amount of slander at this time that Curry had. But Lillard was not one of those players that was slandering him. He merely just made a point that Curry was, he was getting tougher looks and now it was going to be tougher for him.
Into the front court. Draymond finds him another three. Got it! 62!
I'm sure Curry did use those words from Lillard as motivation to score 62 points. People, especially Warriors fans, are rewriting history, trying to say that Damian Lillard was talking trash to Curry. No, he was merely making a point that the tough shots that Curry had was basically going to get tougher for him now. We saw it against the Raptors in the finals. I mean, this was a boxing one being put on Curry. How would you be able to get the same looks now with Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson not in your team? I mean, this is just mind-bogglingly stupid.
It was one crazy hot night for a guy who can get crazy hot.
Even Skip Bayless had to give Steph Curry his flowers. I mean, he deserved it 100%. He went out there and shut all of you haters up.
105 even corner threes in a row. It's
105 anything, Skip. Layups.
It's impossible.
And Warrior fans, they look even worse when Skip Bayless is making more sense than them.
Damian said he's saying it's tough to get these quality looks right now. You don't really have the luxury to just take one from deep just to be taking one. So he's saying, yeah, back in the day when you had all that.
Yeah, Clay, you got KD.
Yeah, you could just jack one to jack it.
Now, of course, because of this, Steph Curry not having the luxury to take the same shots he used to take, I mean, people were beginning to question his shot-making ability.
Who do you think is the better shot maker? Is it Steph Curry or is it Kyrie Irving?
Oh, this is an easy one, Charlie. I mean, it's a landslide. And it's Steph Curry. You talking about a guy that changed the game, a generational talent.
But I'm pretty sure you guys aren't surprised to see that Max Kellerman is on Kyrie's side here.
Steph Curry has become a clutch player. He's become in the finals. But until this 2 finals ago, Steph Curry consistently didn't shoot as well and didn't play as well the deeper you went into the playoffs. For 73 wins, but in the finals, last 422, at Oracle against LeBron's team and Kyrie's team, they didn't make a single shot, and that included Steph Curry not taking.
But apparently Max wasn't on Kyrie's side here?
Well, Max, you still haven't given me a clear-cut answer. You straddling the fence. I thought this was first take. Will you stand behind what you said to me?
Well, just because Steph Curry was now just lighting it up from the three-point line didn't mean that things would get easier for the Warriors. The Lakers just defeating the Warriors easily. And it led to Curry just, saying the truth here.
We have to remember that even when we're playing well, we won 3 in a row. Teams still want to beat us and beat us bad. They still have, a lot of memories from the last 5-6 years.
And of course, the Warriors. I mean, were they going to make the league pay for this?
Stephen A., you think the Warriors are just going to make the league pay when Klay returns?
Without question. Without question.
And Stephen A. Smith, fair enough. He went further than I expected him to ever go in this topic.
If Klay Thompson and Steph Curry on the court together and healthy, Warriors going to conference finals. At the very least.
And we all know what Stephen A. is about to say now.
But when Klay and Steph are on the court together, this is the greatest shooting backcourt in NBA history. And Steph Curry is the greatest shooter since man was created.
Max, I will agree with him. The Western Conference is getting tougher now.
So things have really changed. Obviously, no KD. Even if Klay comes back, he's coming back to a Western Conference that ain't your big brother's Western Conference.
The Lakers are a great team. The Jazz and the Phoenix Suns are now playing so well. The Clippers are a good team. Curry landed on his tailbone and is now out for some games. And it's like, now there's a playing format and the Warriors have to win that.
They got Steph Curry back in the lineup Monday night after he missed 5 games due to a tailbone injury.
I guess they were taking precautions because, yeah, that really didn't look good. It looked like it hurt a lot.
Steph, of course, scored 32 in that game, played 30 minutes, but he mentioned he's still feeling discomfort.
With Steph Curry increasingly getting more injury prone, I mean, is there cause for concern?
Rachel, allow me to jump into the worry crew here because
excellent.
I am very concerned by what I see from the Warriors long term.
You got more and more people, media and fans included, jumping off the Warriors hype train.
I still think they're going to the playoffs if Steph stays healthy, but the whole feeling was Clay comes back, you plug him into the lineup, title contender again. I don't believe that at all.
And look, it looked really bad for them when the Raptors, my Raptors just humiliated them.
Steve, what happened tonight?
I mean, you saw it. We just got destroyed.
We the North, man. We just routed the Warriors. It was a 61-point game at one point. That's how bad it got. The game ended on a 53-point deficit.
I mean, as delicately as possible, what is it like experiencing a game where your guys trail by as much as 61?
Humiliating for everybody involved.
To this day, it is a top 5 biggest margin of victory in NBA history in a game. I love it, man. My Raptors are that good. Now, Draymond Green, he was asked questions, and he said some things that were controversial.
But I'll be 100% honest with you. Fighting for a play-in spot does not motivate.
And of course, when these players say these things, First Take and other media outlets are going to talk about it.
Max, what do you think Dre's really saying here?
He's saying that if there's no championship on the line, it's hard for him to get motivated.
No, you dunce. That's not what he said at all. Listen to the whole clip. Now I have to play the clip now so that you guys get the full context.
I don't go into these games thinking at all like, hey, right there on the fringe, we need to win these games for this play-in spot. No, I want to win every game I play in because I hate losing. That really bothers me.
Simply put, Draymond is motivated to win any game he plays because he hates losing that much.
So that's what motivates me, not fighting for some play-in spot.
So now that you have the full context, it just makes this clip look even stupider.
He's saying that he knows that this team has no shot at the chip this year.
Off of April was a great month for Curry. He passed Wilt for the highest scoring Warrior ever. And he also has some other crazy stats he did. Let's listen to those.
That's his 50th 40-point game in April, passing Kobe and MJ for most 40-point games in a month by a player aged 33 or older. Steph Curry last night became the first player in NBA history to average 40 points, 50% field goal percentage, 40% three-point field goal percentage, and 90% from the free throw line over an 11-game span. Steph Curry has 96 points in his last 2 games. That's the most over a 2-game span by a player aged 33 or older since Michael Jordan in 2001 with the Wizards.
This had to have elevated Curry in the all-time rankings.
Right now, Skip, I have him in my top 15, but there's a chance for him to move into the top 10.
And Skip, for some reason, says the stupidest things.
I don't have him in my top 20. Yes. What? If we were ranking this as regular season only, he'd be in my top 10 already.
Oh, so the playoffs, huh? It's the playoffs.
By his standards, by 2-time MVP standards, he has stunk in the postseason. I got all kinds of numbers, and we don't have enough show.
Should I even play this? Should I even? Whatever, man.
For me to tell you how many times he came up short in huge finals games. Especially, you should know this better than anybody, he gift wrapped and handed LeBron James, your man, your LeShannon Sharp, he handed him a championship.
Why?
With a 3-1 lead, he stunk up games 5, 6, and 7. The way no top 20 player should ever stink up 3 straight finals games, 2 of them in your house. 2 of them. You want the numbers? And by the way, he was so bad in that finals that he and Draymond, you said Draymond went into the parking lot crying for Kevin Durant, and then I remember Steph led the charge, and they flew all the way to the Hamptons to recruit. Am I right? They went to recruit him. That Steph Curry, I'm like, Steph would do that? Yeah, because he needed him. And Kevin won the MVP of those 2. You can throw all those numbers out there you want, but Kevin took over those games, especially the 2 game threes in LeBron's house. But if I look at 5, 6, and 7, 2016 finals. From the floor, he shot 37%. That is horrible. From 3, he shot 36% in those 3 games. He was 15 of 42. That is horrible given all the numbers we are now.
Obviously, he says all this because he loves Kevin Durant so much.
Kevin Durant proves once again he's the best player on the planet.
We'll say Kevin Durant's in a better team now. The Nets are actually in the playoffs. The Warriors, though, they're in a play-in situation. They have to win at least one of these play-in games, and they're facing a LeBron-led Lakers that defeated them handedly recently.
Who will be more dangerous in Game 1? LeBron?
Well, Steph.
And LeBron James, he had a lot of respect for Steph Curry. He even thought that he should win the MVP.
Steph has had, in my opinion, the best season all year.
Stephen A. Smith back at it again, singing Steph Curry's praises.
The greatest shooter that God has ever created. The dude that has you petrified from the moment you step past half court. The one that has you shivering. The one that has you shaking. The one that has you in panic mode is one man. And one man above the crowd. And his name would happen to be Stephen Curry. The greatest shooter that God ever created. League leading scoring champion. Averaging 32 a game. Shoot 48% from the field. 42% from three-point range. No Klay Thompson. An Andrew Wiggins who shows up sparingly. A Kelly Oubre who has a big gun. A Draymond Green who's your point forward and what have you. Steve Kerr's done a fabulous job coaching them, by the way. Let's give him props.
You gotta love it, man. Stephen A. Smith was in his element. Although I don't know about them glasses, though.
You're wrong. The answer is LeBron James.
Are we gonna play this? We all know what he's gonna say, right?
But I remember in 2016, in the finals, LeBron blocked the Steph Curry shot, screamed out like he was his dad. So we on Stephen A. And I saw Steph Curry hang his head along the way. And then, I'm sure, of course. And then, in Game 7, 4 minutes and 22 seconds left to become the greatest team of all time. At home, fourth quarter, Steph Curry, the conductor of the greatest half-court offense in the history of the game. The guy who you're saying is the most dangerous player in these playoffs. Couldn't muster a single point from him or his teammates.
No, this guy's crazy.
Do LeBron and Steph help or hurt each other's legacy?
Well, LeBron has hurt Steph's legacy.
Seriously, though, Max Kellerman has to be on something, bro.
Under LeBron, that everyone acknowledged Steph, Clay, Dre, Iggy, they need KD to help them beat LeBron, and then did it again the next season. How many finals has Steph played in? He's played in 5 finals. How many finals MVPs has he won? 0.
Why does Max do this, bro? Why?
That whole soliloquy you just went on was about LeBron being better than Steph. That wasn't a damn question.
Man, that was way too long. I don't know if I should have gone through all those clips, but now the play-in is coming up. Rivalry between Curry and LeBron is going to be reignited with this Lakers-Warriors matchup, the first in this play-in format. Now we got the Warriors. I mean, Curry's on the roll. He's going crazy. And the way this matchup works is the Warriors has to win this to make the playoffs. If they lose, they play either the Spurs or the Grizzlies.
And that guy defending the basketball in LeBron James in this scenario, I'd keep my eyes on Curry.
LeBron had just hit a clutch three-pointer to take the lead, and the Warriors now needed to tie the game up, but unfortunately it was too late.
Free. Curry trying to get free. Lost the ball. That's it. The Lakers are in the playoffs.
Now, if there's any LeBron fan that's going to love this one, it's going to be Shannon Sharp. Oh boy, did he come in swinging. I mean, you could tell he was just so full of joy.
Hey, how you doing, Skip? The king! The king is here! You see what it
The king?
Can you read that right there?
Legoat? I thought he was ankle.
So now, since the Grizzlies won against the Spurs, it means the Warriors are going to have to play the Grizzlies to win the game or lose and not make the playoffs. Who wins this?
I give the Grizzlies a real shot at this, Nicole. I might be picking them.
First time we see Monica McNutt on here. Yeah, you're going to see more of her later on. Now, this matchup would feature a lot of clutch plays from Ja Morant. A nice pass to Tillman. Hits a three-pointer.
5 fouls, shot clock at 3. Morant gets inside, a little push shot is good.
Yeah, even though the Warriors had the lead at one point, even though it was a tie game at one point, yeah, they lost the playing game. And Steph Curry, he sent out a warning to all the NBA, man.
Tried to make the most of it. Come back, bottle this up. Everybody make the right strides, take advantage of the summer, and you don't want to see us next year.
Oh, and I forgot to say, yeah, Harden recently got acquired by the Nets a couple months ago, and now they're in the playoffs.
Nets big 3 versus his 2017-2018 Warriors. Who you got?
I got the Warriors.
And we all know with Max Kellerman, he's going to go against the Warriors at any point he can.
It comes down to Kyrie or Clay. I'm taking Kyrie. KD cancels with KD, and if you make me choose between Harden and Steph, I'm taking Harden. It's the Nets.
You're taking who?
James.
Did you just say
Harden.
you're taking Harden over?
Yeah.
Oh! You're taking James Harden over Steph Curry. Me and Big Marcus Spears and Swagoo, and we brought up this topic. Who would you take?
How in the hell did Kendrick Perkins remember that? That's crazy. Now, Max, he did pick Curry over Harden.
Steph is just better. So if Steph had the usage rate for a coach like D'Antoni, we wouldn't even be arguing this.
Kevin Durant was shimming on Giannis. He was showing up in the playoffs, second round. It was looking good for him.
Kevin Durant just proved once and for all he's the best player on the planet.
And of course, Skip Bayless is going to prop him up to try to take down LeBron.
We are here. Do you finally agree KD is the best player on the planet?
I gotta give it to KD though. A 49-point triple-double? At that point, only Westbrook had done that in NBA history. Crazy.
I won't deny it was the greatest performance I've ever seen from Kevin Durant. he was sensational.
And it's really, really interesting seeing how great KD was in this series. But obviously, we all know how it ended.
All right, the Nets looking to inbound. Jeff Green gets it into Durant. Here is Durant moving on Tucker. He turns, he shoots. Yes! With 1 second remaining. 1 second left. Durant hits a three.
Now, Marv, it was not a free. His foot was on the line. It was clear as day. And yeah, but he did have another chance.
Guarded by Holiday. Durant for three. Comes up with an air ball.
And that's just fatigue right there. You got to admire Durant going for the win.
He came up short in one of the biggest series of his life. And yeah, Shannon Sharp was there to grill Skip.
The level of blame that you would assess to the greatest player on the planet currently is what Kevin Durant deserves.
We all know what the excuse is going to be. The announcer just said it earlier.
So the point is, we get to overtime, and Kevin Durant is clearly absolutely gassed.
No, no. Michael Jordan would never be gassed. Kobe Bryant would never be gassed. You told me superstars can't be gassed because I've said that about LeBron, and you said it can't be. So no, that can't be an excuse.
And plus, Giannis comes in and dominates in the finals after hyperextending his knee.
After a half century, the Milwaukee Bucks are NBA champions once again.
Another season wraps up, and a new champion gets crowned. Now the Warriors, they got to make some moves. They got to make sure they get better next season.
According to Marcus Thompson from The Athletic, Bradley Beal and Pascal Siakam are atop the Warriors' wish list.
Sure, the starting lineup looks good, but they need more depth, and that's where the 2021 draft comes in. 2 lottery picks.
You know, this is one of my favorite times of the year, but no one in this draft is going to help the Warriors and make them a contender right now and help them get over the hump.
Okay, so let's recap what the Warriors have at the moment that's going to be a factor next season.
They do have a young stud in James Wiseman. They also expect Klay Thompson back next season.
And Bob Myers, we know him as a great GM. Let's see who he picks in the draft. He gets a guy in Jonathan Kuminga that looks interesting.
This kid doesn't turn 19 until October 6th.
And then the number 14 pick, they got Moses Moody, and it's a very interesting draft for the Warriors. They got 2 studs to come in and try to add some depth to this team. And now Steph Curry signs an extension.
Adrian Wojnarowski reporting Steph Curry has agreed to a 4-year, $215 million extension with the Warriors.
Man, this just says it all, doesn't it? The Warriors mean business. They're trying to get back on top of the mountain again.
How many titles do you see Steph Curry winning over the next 4 years?
Now, Kendrick Perkins, tell me why you suddenly flip-flop this season.
I hate to say this right now, but to be honest with you, I don't see the Golden State Warriors bringing home another championship.
I was as shocked as she was when I heard this. I mean, wasn't he the same guy last year that agreed with Stephen A. Smith when he said the dynasty's not over? He sees them winning another championship.
There's no knock on Steph Curry. There's no knock on what he brings to the table. I'm just saying the window has closed for the Warriors.
Perk, we don't think in the next 4 years it'll be movement in the NBA for Steph Curry and them out there in Golden State. Like the question is, how many titles in the next 4 years? So y'all gonna sit on First Take. You and Dominique Foxworth are going to sit on First Take and say that Steph Curry will not be in the conversation for a championship in the next 4 years.
Get us out of here, Victoria.
All right, we got to wrap it up.
And what do you know? Nicholas here has the same opinion.
Unfortunately, I'm out on this, but I think Warriors fans should still be very happy today.
I don't know why, but I want to entertain this. Nicholas is going to try to play the GM role.
Everyone laughed at the trade Daryl Morey offered. And Daryl Morey said, hey, you want Ben Simmons? Give me the 7th pick, the 14th pick, 2 future lottery picks, and to make the money work, Wiseman and Wiggins.
Ben Simmons, the guy that passed on a layup a couple months ago, he's the guy you want the Warriors to get to win a championship?
And Pepper, can we put up their moves that the Warriors made to try to take advantage of Klay Thompson's shrinking window? Draymond shrinking window. Steph shrinking. This is their big moves. Well, we didn't even know this happened. We were in the call. Like, yeah, they got Otto Porter.
And don't forget, Max Kellerman's favorite player is coming back to Golden State, baby.
Yes, Andre Iguodala heading back to the Warriors on a one-year deal.
Time to cross your fingers, man. Klay Thompson, he was looking good, spry and healthy, shooting those 3-pointers with such confidence and such ease.
Well, he's doing well in his recovery, but the Warriors are targeting that Christmas Day game against the Suns for his return.
ESPN projected the Warriors to have the biggest turnaround from last season to this season, with by far the most votes out of any other team in this list.
Let's take a look at who's on the squad. Steph is the only point guard listed other than Gary Payton Jr.
Yeah, this may be a problem. Steph Curry getting older, he needs a backup point guard to take some of the minutes off of him.
They've been having some workouts the last couple of weeks, and this week they have Avery Bradley coming in, which is, to me, impressive that Avery Bradley's not signed, or not impressive for him, but shocked that he's not signed. Quinn Cook, the former Warrior, is coming in, and also Isaiah Thomas is coming in as well.
Oh dear, Isaiah Thomas. Okay, so Wiggins, apparently he's not vaccinated, which means he may not be eligible to play at home.
Andrew Wiggins has made a choice. He ain't vaccinated. Now the Warriors need to make the only choice they can make. Trade his ass. Trade him for a player who won't miss half their damn games. It's very, very simple.
And I will say this, coming into the season, a lot of people wrote this team off, even myself. Look, we knew they would be a good team, but we just didn't think that with this lineup and guys getting older and a lot of young guys, it's just a mixed bag of inexperience and much older players.
Steph Curry, if you can have this, Timmy Legler, he had a quiet triple-double.
It was opening night, and the Lakers, man, with Russell Westbrook and new look Lakers. Although Curry just had 21 points in his game, it was obvious that Curry was still just as good as last season, and boy, oh boy, was the momentum going to carry him way up.
Even though we've all been here watching it, I'm still blown away. There's never been anybody like him.
Curry went off in the second game. Okay, it took him 2 games to get a 40-piece, 45 points in this one, with 2 big threes at the end.
Stephen A., are folks sleeping on Steph and the Warriors?
They are.
Like I said, he made 2 go-ahead 3-pointers in the clutch.
Really speaking about right now, Steph Curry is the greatest shooter God ever created.
What was that about Curry not making go-ahead threes in the clutch? Yeah, man, these stats are so stupid, bro. And now Curry, of course, he's just making it look so easy. And Perkins, yeah, he's apparently jealous of the light-skinned dude with the green eyes. What the heck is this tweet about, Perk? Like, what is this, bro? This is screaming colorism. Bro, this is just a bad look overall.
Warriors out to a 2-0 start after the win over the Lakers in LA the other night.
Every season, there's always a new player that breaks out. Ja Morant was definitely that player right from the beginning. And with Curry missing shots in overtime to losing against the Grizzlies, Skip was debating whether or not Curry was a better shooter than Ray Allen.
For my money, postseason, game on the line, give me that guy who killed my Spurs with the greatest clutch shot I've ever seen.
Well, of course, Skip loves the same dude that said this.
Yeah, out the post, he can score and pass it. Is he a great free throw shooter? Is he a great three-point shooter? Is he a great dribbler? So you're saying the GOAT, and he ain't even the great in all them categories. You know what it is? Yes.
I agree with Ray Allen too, though. Jordan is the clear GOAT, but this is such a laughable argument, bro. They're not laughing with you, they're laughing at you, bro.
As well as he shoots the ball from distance, you would think that he would be better in the clutch situation, that he would have so many more walk-offs and game winners.
Oh, man. Skip, man. He's loving every second of this. If you had just waited a week, you would see that the Warriors, I mean, they would pick things up again and start winning more games and be the #1 team.
Molly, it is official. I'm picking the Golden State Warriors to win the championship. If Klay Thompson and James Wiseman come
wait
back,
till he's back.
they win in the championship.
And now Curry is also going and scoring 50 in the game. No, this is crazy. Steph Curry went in against the Hawks and just decimated their defense, or lack thereof. Really, there's no defense there to speak of.
You know, I want to say I've never seen anything like it, but I've been watching it for 7 years.
When you top a list with Wilt Chamberlain in it, man, you're goated.
33 ain't old, but Steph, who is 33, became the oldest player in NBA history to have a game with 50 points and 10 assists. The previous record was held by Wilt Chamberlain.
And now Stephen A. Smith, the Warriors' biggest supporter in the media, I mean, he was just loving every second of this.
Should the Warriors be the favorites to win it all.
Oh, hell yes.
JJ Redick, a newcomer at ESPN, does not like this take.
JJ, why were you shaking your head at him?
It's irresponsible. It's irresponsible to say that, to be honest with you.
Irresponsible.
No, listen.
Whatever.
Get him.
That's a good take.
I love that response. Oh my goodness, I'm definitely screenshotting this frame.
Woj, when could we be expecting to see Klay back on the floor?
Oh, I've been waiting for a Woj bomb.
And there's an optimism. It could be as soon as December 20th.
Nah, I'm joking. Shams is better. But Steph Curry and the Warriors, they look very scary.
This team is so similar to those 15 and 16 teams. It's scary. I think when Klay gets back, if he's at 80%, they're going to be better than they were in 15 and 16.
I know at this point it's only been a month. But listen to the stats Curry's been putting up, man. MVP level stats right here.
Steph Curry is second in the league in scoring. He's averaging 6 boards, 6 assists, and leading a team that does not have his second superstar.
And Stephen A, man, you could tell he was irate when Perkins said this.
And let me tell you why you're wrong.
If it wasn't clear before, now that Max Kellerman is off, they needed a new villain, and Kendrick Perkins is it.
But one thing that they lack is experience. And experience matters when it comes down to the playoffs.
Yes, this Warriors team does have a lot of players that really never played in the playoffs or didn't play much of it at least. But they're still the team to beat.
With the ball in the corner, and Jay Will, he was making it happen all night.
You got Wiggins dunking on Cat twice. And obviously, this Warriors team is looking like the best team in the league.
I would say that they're playing the best basketball right now. I don't say they're the best team in basketball. They have the second easiest schedule thus far.
Well, Perk, he's telling us there's another team to watch out for.
One thing we fail to realize about the Miami Heat, Stephen A., you know who has yet to touch the floor for them? Victor Oladipo. He's sitting right over there. He's sitting right over there. And listen, he doesn't, Steve.
You could see the Heat are right there with the Warriors in terms of most projected wins in the NBA. Over 50 wins, that's a pretty good team to me.
I believe there will be a 60-win season. It's going to be the Warriors.
With this huge momentum on their side, the Warriors now face Kevin Durant.
I don't think you can slow Kevin Durant down.
And somehow they did end up doing just that.
Should KD regret leaving Golden State for Brooklyn officially?
Without question. Without question. I wouldn't blame KD if KD asked to be traded at the end of the season. I think he should ask to be traded.
This was really one of those embarrassing games that the Nets played against the Warriors.
How much did the Warriors embarrass the Nets in Brooklyn?
They embarrassed the Nets. They embarrassed the borough of Brooklyn.
Kevin Durant had 0 field goals in the second half.
KD came to Brooklyn because of Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving has betrayed KD.
And Steph Curry, he was clearly the best player, and it was not even close.
He won the MVP vote last night. I mean, there's a distinct gap between him and Kevin Durant right now.
Curry has reclaimed the spot for most threes made in a calendar year. He also has the most games by a landslide of making 9 3-pointers in the game. I mean, this is just absolutely mind-blowing.
He looked like a different, like he's young again to me.
Curry really made those two on the bench look like complete bums.
37 points on 19 shots. That was 12 out of 19 and 9 out of 14 from deep. 37.
I know he's the greatest shooter of all time, but can we go another level with this?
Is there a way to stop Steph Curry? Is he the greatest player of all time?
He warrants more attention than any player in NBA history.
I actually think this guy is playing better basketball than he did when he was a 2-time MVP.
All aboard the hype train. Choo-choo.
Steph Curry sitting there shimmying and joking around, laughing on the court. They were cheering for Steph Curry in Brooklyn. From opening tap, they were chanting MVP in the Barclays Center.
The bandwagon was beginning to fill up very quickly.
This is the best team in the NBA, and this team can win a championship, and it's scary. I'm saying it now, and they don't even have Klay Thompson.
And so now, Skip and Shannon, they had to answer this very, very tough question.
So, Shannon, would you rather have Steph or KD right now?
It's probably blasphemous for me to say this, Skip, but I'm going to take Steph.
What are we about to hear from Skip? Is he about to say the stupidest things ever? Of course he is.
Well, guess what? He's making 45% of his threes.
What?
Sounds pretty good. It's the second lowest of his career. That's how great a shooter he is.
And the Phoenix Suns, they have a 16-game win streak. Will the Warriors snap it?
Booker is special, but nobody is Steph Curry. Nobody.
Now, the Suns did end up winning the game. Chris Paul clutch mid-range. I mean, it was a close game, but Stephen A still remains steadfast.
The Suns are legit. Monty Williams is my coach of the year. I think he's doing a sensational job. I'm looking at CP3. I'm just more proud every day. The brother gets older and better. He gets worse, get better. I mean, Devin Booker is a star. You know, he's not playing tonight. He is a star. Mikal Bridges had the most valuable 2.4s I've ever seen. I mean, he was everywhere. He was just sensational the other night. And DeAndre Ayton, I'm sorry, give him props where it's due because he didn't get that contract he deserved, and he's going out there and showing that he's worthy of it. I got mad props for him. And you know that CP3 and Monty Williams written all over that in terms of their influence on this young man's character. There's a lot to be proud of with the Phoenix Suns. They are a threat. I can't deny it.
They ain't a threat to the Suns. I'm sorry. They're a threat to the Warriors.
He was really so caught up in all that he managed to fuck that up.
But there's nothing to fear. The Warriors are still the best team in basketball as far as I'm concerned. I believe they will prove that tonight when they avenge Tuesday night's loss.
The Suns' 18-game winning streak ends tonight.
I gotta say, 18 games, that's a lot, man. I'm telling you, this is an impressive team. Now, Steph Curry, he was about to make history of his own, breaking a long-standing record.
Stephen A., will Steph break the record in his next game?
I think that's going a little bit too far. What does he need? 16 threes in a game? I love Steph Curry. I think he's the greatest shooter God ever created. I don't see him hitting 16 threes in one game.
That's crazy to think. They actually asked whether or not Curry could hit 16 threes in the game. That's how great he is.
Shannon, is it right or wrong to compare Steph to MJ?
I don't have a problem with it, Skip, because Steph has reached that all-time greatness. Because, Skip, what he does now is just routine.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I agree with Skip here.
And I know where he's trying to go with this, but he ventured into blasphemy territory here because it's not fair to Steph Curry. It's just not fair.
There's a reason why Michael Jordan is so highly regarded.
We're talking about 6-0 in the finals with 6 MVPs, and Steph will never, ever live up to that.
Skip right here, he makes a great point, but he somehow ruins it.
His three-point percentage right now is the second lowest of his career, but when you're up around 41 to 42%, you say, well, that's way better than everybody else. But for him, he's not having a great three-point shooting year. Right. Okay, this forces me to bring this up again. I don't care what anybody says. In the postseason, Steph has come up smaller than he even is too many times for me, because you're talking about comparing him to the greatest clutch scorer in the history of this game, Michael Jeffrey Jordan. And it started in 2016 against your team. You should still send him flowers on a weekly basis. You should send him a bouquet every week for what he gave you in 2016 when you were 3-1 games down to him, and he had 2 of the last 3 in 5, 6, and 7. He had 5 and 7 at home. And look at the pathetic numbers that he's put up.
But forget all that, man. Skip's just hating. Now Curry's about to break the record, and as he breaks it, it's a special moment all around.
The all-time three-point king of the NBA. The man who changed the game. Now he stands alone.
I mean, who wouldn't be emotional after setting such a big record? I mean, this is monumental. And he could smash that record for nobody else to breach it.
It's a pretty special moment. Like, I shot it, I backtrack, I saw my pops over on the side, saw my teammates going crazy, felt the whole buzz of the whole arena, so it was special.
Just look at how many games it took Ray Allen to make all those three-pointers, and then look at Curry's.
If he plays 1,300 games, he will have made nearly 5,000 three-pointers.
Meanwhile, Skip finally got a response from Kevin Durant.
The best player on the planet was at it again tonight in Brooklyn.
It wasn't the response he expected. Kevin Durant, of course he doesn't like Skip.
I really don't like you. Skip, your response to KD.
That's funny. Now, Klay Thompson, he's apparently close to returning. It's almost Christmas time.
He wanted to stay back in San Francisco so he could be able to go with the Warriors G League team, continue to get live action practice.
Okay, so Klay Thompson's not going to be able to play in time for Christmas. And fortunately for the Warriors, they still were able to beat the Suns. And right now, it's just everything's coming together for them.
To the NBA, where the Golden State Warriors on Saturday found themselves in a close game with the Utah Jazz. And who did they turn to late? None other than Finals MVP Andre Iguodala.
And of course, Max Kellerman, man. He has to embrace the meme. Everybody knows about it by now. Man, it's just so sad.
I want Iguodala.
Now, Max, he insists that we just simply don't understand his argument.
Fate of the universe on the line. I said it at the time very clearly. I don't know why people don't understand. You don't have to get your own shot, just an open look. This is not about how well you shoot. It's about what's in your veins. Is it ice? Water.
And he keeps bringing the same stuff up from before.
Who's won more Finals MVPs, Andre Iguodala or Steph Curry? Because the answer is Iguodala.
What's crazy is you watch the game, it was tied. Steph Curry made the 2 go-ahead shots to take the lead and then seal the game. And I know the Warriors at this point of the year were struggling a little, right? They were losing games that they shouldn't have lost. But Klay Thompson, he was about to return very soon, and it was obvious that the Warriors needed him desperately.
All signs continue to point towards Sunday against Cleveland for Klay Thompson's return.
It was something out of a movie, especially for Klay. I mean, you could tell how emotional this was for him. And coming into the game, what a spectacular dunk. Man, it was just fun to watch. And you could see it in his face. He was so happy to be there.
Warriors win in Klay's return.
Now, they would end up losing some pivotal games during the stretch, one against Ja Morant and the Grizzlies. And you could see it here, man. The new kids on the block, it seemed like they had the Warriors' number.
Big game, 10 of them things. Stop playing with us, man. Put some respect on our name.
And it's not just the Warriors. Apparently, this team got the whole league's number, man. I'm telling you, this is actually fascinating, seeing this Memphis team just become a contender all of a sudden.
Last night, the Warriors went to Milwaukee and got knocked out.
I mean, Giannis is the king. There's no reason why you would feel bad losing to him.
Now, the Warriors were the talk of the town. Just wait until they get Klay. Wait until they get Klay. Well, guess what? They got Klay, but they've been getting beat recently.
And guess what? The new kids on the block, they were getting more love than the Warriors.
Yes, Ja Morant is the front runner for the MVP.
The good old days when the word front runner used to be a positive thing.
You have been saying repeatedly, Golden State is going to win the title. Do you still feel that way?
Seriously?
Wait
Oh, we like that now?
Really?
Oh, no, he's clearly doing this for the bit, man.
I'm sticking with the Warriors, but the Phoenix Suns do have me a bit concerned.
The Warriors don't have just one, but they have two All-Stars, with Andrew Wiggins making his first ever.
They've got two All-Star starters on this Golden State team. One is Steph Curry. There's the other one in Andrew Wiggins.
Finally, we get to see a Canadian in the All-Star game, bro. It's been a long time coming, bro. I'm telling you, this is a beautiful moment.
Their careers, Steph and Klay both made 5 3-pointers at least. That's by far the most such games in NBA history.
I know it's been a rocky road so far in this 2022 calendar year, but the Splash duo going crazy? Man, everything points towards them making a deep run in the playoffs. And Stephen A. Smith, he agrees with me too.
Stephen A. Smith, you have been on their bandwagon from the beginning, but they've been struggling. Are you giving any thought to jumping off that bandwagon?
Not at all. Mere bag of shells, as Ralph Crammer said.
This was worth mentioning beforehand, but whatever. Draymond Green was actually not playing these games because he was injured.
What do you think is a realistic timetable of when you could be actually back playing?
I'm hoping sometime within the next 3 weeks or so, 3 or 4 weeks.
And now we're beginning to see more and more Klay games.
Klay Thompson hit back-to-back threes late in the game to help wrap up a dominant Warriors win. 110-98 was the final.
One of those great performances from Klay was against the Lakers, and boy, man, he put on a show. They almost lost this game. If it wasn't for Klay, they'd lose.
That was fun.
And since the occasion called for it, the crew decided to give some love back to Andrew Wiggins.
We're going to start with a guy that I used to criticize all the time at his first stop after being drafted #1. Andrew Wiggins.
Now we would begin to see the doubters, the naysayers begin to eat their words up and say, look, I was wrong.
He's in a position where it's not his numbers. We're not phony numbers from Minnesota we're looking at. The impact he has on the game are far greater than any numbers he's put up. He's everything people thought he could be at an earlier stage when he did not have to be the star.
Now the Warriors, they were still losing games. Don't get it twisted, man. They still needed to get some work done.
Our defense has just been bad. Last game, it was box outs, back cuts. Every game it's been something a little different. So our defense has just been really poor. And if that's the case, it's tough to win. So,
and you know what? You got to give it to Stephen A, man. He has been consistent this whole time.
I know you're very high on them. Do you still have them coming out of the West with these struggles of late?
I still do. I have not jumped off that bandwagon. Now, what I will say is this. The Phoenix Suns do give you cause to pause.
Now, some players, they begin to feel concerned about the lack of effort shown.
Just how deflated Steph looked after the game, how concerned he looked after the game. You know, he said he was going to definitely watch film, but he was concerned about the lack of consistency, the struggles with the rotation, the energy, and how the energy shifted. And
it was so fascinating seeing this team go from #1 seed, lock for MVP, to now just falling off.
I think the Warriors are glad that February is over. Like, they were 5-5 in February. They lost to the Knicks. They lost to the Clippers.
Right.
They had a close loss to Denver.
And people were just hyping up the new kids on the block, man. Ja Morant. MVP in the future? Who knows?
Jay, who would you rather have down the stretch? Would it be Steph Curry or Ja Morant?
So Steph Curry is the best three-point shooter of all time, the greatest shooter that I think the game has ever seen. But I think it's important to decipher these moments between clutch and the greatest shooter that we've ever seen.
All right, bro. So he's about to make the same argument that Steph Curry is not clutch. What? Bro, can we just stop this, please? Can we just stop?
So when you look at the numbers for this year, Stephen Curry shooting 32% from the field in clutch moments. 19% from the three-point line in clutch moments.
Man, that stat is so misleading. Man, this is just a horrible argument to make, man. Over Ja Morant.
But there is something about the clutch gene for me.
And somehow Ja Morant, who's only played 3 years in the NBA, is more clutch. He has that clutch gene.
It's Ja Morant. I just think Ja Morant he has a slight edge for MVP for me.
You would rather have Ja Morant down the stretch than the greatest shooter of all time. That makes sense right now.
I would pick Ja Morant over Stephen Curry right now for clutch moments to get it done down the stretch.
I will say, though, recency bias has made this argument more palpable for people, especially casuals.
I didn't like the energy and the spirit tonight.
A huge part of this is Draymond not being able to play due to his injury. And of course, a back injury is nothing to joke about, okay? He has become so important for this Warriors team on the defensive end. The Lakers, I mean, they destroyed the Warriors. LeBron James did mainly, with him scoring a season-high 56 points.
I would say desperation and inspiring. We're playing inspired basketball versus a really good team. We needed this win for sure.
The Warriors, they weren't just missing effort and energy. They were missing Draymond.
The best thing that has happened to the brand that is Draymond Green is him being out. Because we realize now how important he is to this franchise.
And obviously, someone like Kendrick Perkins will take this opportunity to slander Steph Curry, because why not?
When the Warriors are hitting those threes, we're singing their praises. I mean, they're shooting it from the parking lot. They're doing this. But when they're not hitting those threes, nobody holds them accountable for playing bad basketball. No one says a goddamn word about them playing bad basketball.
Sometimes Kendrick makes me wonder, okay, is he doing this for a bit, or is he actually seriously saying this?
You don't hold Steph Curry accountable. You do not. This is the one guy that you let Steph Curry off the hook because
I do. And proud of it.
Yeah.
Bro, Kendrick was not expecting that response.
Yes, they do need Draymond Green back. But Draymond Green been sidelined since January the 9th, I believe it is, with a back injury. This ain't back spasms. So we all know how that is dealing with back injuries. Even if he comes back, do we know if he's going to be 100%?
Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, I definitely see where Perkins is coming from here.
To me, looking at this Golden State Warriors team, are they legit title contenders? Hell no.
Oh my, okay. What is it, Perk? What is it, Perk? Is it the light-skinned, green-eyes guy? Are you jealous of him again? Is that what it is? This whole time, you were just bottling that up.
Well, I'm really curious to see, George, what they look like going up, as you said, against the Golden State Warriors. Boston has the best defense in the league over the past 22 games since they turned their season around on January 23rd by 5 points per 100 possessions.
And to make things worse, Marcus Smart inadvertently injured Steph Curry going after the ball. Obviously, this was met with a lot of controversy.
Dangerous play. I thought Marcus dove into Steph's knee.
Now, fortunately, cooler heads did prevail, but still, Curry's now injured. Draymond's hurt. How are the Warriors looking at all this, man?
I was told that last night in the locker room, the mood was very subdued and there were some nerves while they were waiting for those results.
I mean, how bad was the injury? Tell me.
A left foot sprain.
Will he be back for the playoffs at least? I mean, we cannot have this.
There's optimism initially that Steph Curry would be back by the start of the playoffs.
I don't care who they play in the first round. If they miss Steph Curry, bro, they're not winning a single game. I'm telling you, this team is so bad without him. And of course, it's easy for a guy like Kendrick Perkins to say this.
Steph, Clay, and Draymond have only played 2 games together this season, and now this is happening. So are the Warriors' titles hopes over?
Hell yeah, they over.
They lost against the Magic, and yeah, this game was so embarrassing. And like, they shouldn't have lost that game. Clearly, they were just, you know, their screws were loose, man. I don't know what this was.
I think we're playing soft. We're playing stupid. It's hard to win a game getting pumped.
These are horrible stats. Just look at how bad this Warriors team has been over the last 7 games. Yeah, this is not going to cut it to win a championship. It really won't.
Has the Warriors' window closed as serious title contenders with this revolving door of injuries?
Molly, the door is closed.
Now, if you're thinking JJ Redick agreed, no, he didn't.
I don't think the window is closed quite yet. And I actually think this window could extend for another couple years.
Well, right now, things are looking dire. The Warriors are right now the 4th seed in the West.
Klay Thompson wasn't himself last night. Steph Curry's in street clothes. Wiseman doesn't look like he's coming back.
Well, guess what? It's playoff time now. And despite all those adversity, the Warriors would convincingly win a playoff series.
It's Morris and the Golden State Warriors get that old championship look in their eyes.
And they would win yet another series.
To Curry. Curry a 3. He got it.
And now it's the conference finals. And wait, you thought they were going to win this one either?
Outside to Wiggins. Goes by drops the sledgehammer.
Nicholas, it's time for you to eat your words.
Because I did not anticipate Andrew Wiggins would be the difference in the series. There is a clip going out around the internet of me about 2.5 years ago declaring the death of the Warriors dynasty because they had the foolishness to trade for Andrew Wiggins and his terrible contract. And I said, Steph will now never make the finals again because of this albatross of a contract. And instead, he's dropping albatrosses on Luka's head.
And tell me, what did Curry and the Warriors do in the finals?
Game 4 and more magic here in Game 6. Curry gets it, fakes, fires, three-pointer, bang! Steph Curry from downtown, a 15-point lead. As Smart is shaken up.
The Warriors, who people doubted, the Warriors, who people said, oh, the window's closed, finally were able to shut all the haters up. And man, it really did feel good when Steph Curry won that title, man. He shut a lot of people up, bro.
Clearly remember some experts and talking heads putting up the big zero of how many championships we would have going forward because of everything that we went through.
And I love the pettiness, man. The Warriors, man, they have their receipts. They've seen it all.
Kendrick Perkins, I have a message for you, sir.
And now it was time for the Warriors to give Kendrick Perkins his comeuppance.
I was minding my business, walking to the car to leave the arena last night, and I got stopped at mid-court with Joe Lacob and Bob Myers, and they say they want an apology from Kendrick Perkins.
Man, Kendrick, what you gonna say, bro? They caught you red-handed, baby.
An apology for what? For picking somebody else besides them? I don't owe them an apology for picking another team to win it or picking another team to beat them in the series. What the hell I owe them an apology for?
How about an apology for constantly coming on TV, disrespecting the Warriors, and then being jealous of a guy because of his skin tone? Come on, bro.
Every so once in a while, you gotta remind yourself.
You gotta remind
yourself. You got foul.
This parade was just amazing. And you know what was better, to me at least? Skip Bayless's reaction to the whole thing.
It made me sick. They make me sick.
But I've already covered this in the previous video. You can find it with this thumbnail. I just don't want to rehash it again, honestly. So what did we learn from all this?
Shut up!
To all of the naysayers that were using Curry having 0 finals MVP as an argument to try to dismiss his legacy, to put him outside of the top 10 list, to you, shut up. To the people that were dissing Andrew Wiggins, saying that he wouldn't amount to anything, and to them, especially Nick Friedel and guys like that all over the world, shut up. To those in the media that kept disrespecting this Warriors team, to those people that said Curry wouldn't be here in a matter of 2 years. He would have to be here with a completely different roster. Shut up. Like, seriously, you people have been the worst. In other topics, you guys can have some decent takes, but when you cover Curry and the Warriors, you come out with the most batshit insane takes, and it just annoys me to no end. And so I'm glad that I was able to put this video together. I was glad that I was able to just show up all of the receipts, all of these receipts out there. They're now in one video for you to enjoy. Now, I'll be honest with you, bro. If this video doesn't get 1 million views, if it doesn't get over 50,000 likes, I am not doing this again. I'm not doing a video like this again, bro.